Hello, everybody. How are you all doing tonight? I hope you all can tune in, join me, share my content. Remember, Facebook, Meta, whoever. I am not doing this for monetary purposes. I am just here to inform the Mescalero people, the Ruidoso people, and everybody else who will listen of what Nelva Cervantes and her council continues to do. So if you hear any noise in the background, any music, any other content, any movies, whatever it is, I do not own rights to that, and I am not trying to make any money off of that. So, as usual, our show will start with Elijah Hadley and our fight for justice for Elijah. As I have mentioned to you before, Elijah Hadley has a whole page put together for him, for everybody to come together and to support, to be a voice, to be as loud as we can without actually making noise. But please, if you will please go to Elijah Hadley's page right there. I don't know if y'all can see it. Probably not. But it's not hard. We share his content all the time. Justice for Elijah Hadley. Um, Richard Welch is the administrator of the account, I believe, and we have Kristen Michelle, who is one of the most hardest fighters we have. She's one of our loudest fighters for Elijah Hadley. And she's always going above and beyond, researching, looking for everything she can to help Elijah's case, to help bring support. And please let me know if you cannot hear me. The connection is iffy. It keeps telling me that connection is slow. So please let me know if you cannot hear me. But on April 3rd, Kristen had shared a post. It says, "They want to spread lies. Let's spread some more truth." According to reports that I was able to get my hands on through public accessibility means, Jacob Diaz Austin was hired with Otero County Sheriff's Office in November 2020. Graduated in May 2021, got his CIT training in May 2022. He failed 2 prior attempts at becoming a law enforcement officer in his home county of Doña Ana, specifically Las Cruces Police Department and Doña Ana Sheriff's Office, LCPD, was a physical fail, and DASO was a written test failure. The first reported due to his inability to pass the physical portion of the exam for the push-ups. The second, he was unable to pass the written testing requirements. Use of force history between 2021 and 2024, Otero County has 84 separate incidents of use of force in record. 83 if we go by the report, because they do not include Elijah Hadley's on there. Of those 84 reports, let me see. I guess I should read, let me see, the ones that he's directly listed on. Jacob Diaz Austin was on scene in some capacity for a total of 11 of these incidents. In 2021 through 22, use of force incidents were reported. Diaz listed in 3 reports in 21. In 2022, 25 use of force incident reported. Diaz is listed in 1 report in 2022. In 2023, there are 22 reports. Diaz is listed in 3 reports in 2023. 2024, there are 16. He's listed in 4. In 2021, first year he attended 3 calls that required use of force. He assisted in restraining 1 subject during the 3rd encounter. 2022, he was a special year for him. His little one turned one, I guess. Then he had use of force incident. Diaz was primarily deputy. On scene, use of force listed in hands, pain compliance, and takedown maneuvers are detailed. 2023, all three use of force incidents, Diaz was primary and was used and who used force. Excuse me. Diaz is listed as primary deputy. Hands are the type of force listed on all three of these reports. In the reports for the March incident, however, Jacob admits to using a knee strike that isn't documented under the use of force method. These knee strikes failed to land on the subject's leg, as Jacob claims he intended, but hit the subject's groin. The other deputy report notes seeing Jacob holding the suspect's arm and kneeling on his left leg. The November incident, makes points to reference a subject calling him the N word. I guess he's not fond of nicknames such as dog or bro. Later, when the suspect slips one hand out of her handcuffs, he claims she falls out of the patrol car when the deputy attempts to re-establish restraints. She fell out of his car. The other deputy's statement claims a takedown maneuver was used. That sounds more better. I can imagine that piece of crap would just stand there and she just magically fell out of his unit. Both deputies have a different account of what amount of force was used, leading to the conclusion of the encounter. 2024, 4 use of force incidents, 1 prior to Elijah's murder, and 2 when he should have been back in the force. He shouldn't have been back in the force. He used force in 3 of the reports, with the last report being so vague we have no idea what any deputy on scene was doing aside from the reporting deputy. The first incident of 2024, initially dispatched as a 911 disconnect, learned to be domestic, which ultimately escalated and resulted in a neighbor requesting a trespass order. The female suspect was highly intoxicated, presented with bloodshot, watery eyes, strong odor of alcohol, severely slurred speech, inability to comprehend, and poor motor functions. She physically assaulted Diaz. As drunk as she was, I'm sure she physically assaulted him, was allowed to walk freely alongside Diaz, seemingly a great distance, made multiple verbal threats and threatening gestures, attempted to physically assault a patrol vehicle, also attempting to enter another patrol car. She told Diaz he was so ugly, later grabbed his arm in a rude manner, randomly blurting out things like F you, you crazy, telling him he should be ashamed of himself and that he's a coward. Tells him he's aggressive. He stated specifically, at no time did I raise my voice at her or be disrespectful towards her, randomly telling him to go be with his prostitutes in Mexico. She randomly starts talking about demons, and yet throughout the entirety of this, Diaz attempts to appease her, reassure her, give her redirection and warning despite continued unpredictable and aggressive behavior. I find that hard to believe. I find that a load of crap. Let me see. He states in the report, he tells her that he is not there to hurt her or make things worse. He's there to help her. She told him, excuse me, but if you hear all that noise, that's my little one sitting here drinking her tea. Excuse us. She told him to go terrorize Indians, Africans, and Mexicans. He responded he wasn't there to terrorize anyone. She walks into the desert at a high pace and turns around abruptly, and then proceeded to walk with balled fist towards Diaz with an intent to kick him. I'm surprised that this woman is still alive to tell her story. I'm surprised he did not unload his entire clip into her and then reload and do it again. Diaz with intent to kick him. He warns her that he will tase her. She laughs and continues walking within 6 feet between them, cornering him against a mesquite and after all that she was tased. Diaz reports indicates he acted with care and concern even after her threats, insulting and repeated aggression. This report stands out from others for so many reasons. This incident was obtained through publicly accessible data collection of official release reports. Any inaccuracies would be due to the inaccuracy of the records released. I do share this. I believe they do, and I ask that if you all see it, and if you would please share as well. Getting this out, when you share, tag people. It brings awareness, and it'll help people to see what's going on. When I engage with people, sometimes on my page, sometimes I will engage in debates, regarding our pedophile president. I will engage in debates regarding him. Each time I engage with some pedophile supporter, my page becomes even bigger because all these people are thinking, who is this lady fussing about my president? And I get more views, which is great. The more views, the better. Whether people like me or not, as long as they see what is going on, that's what's important. I don't care if they don't like me. What's important is that we get all of this out, that people know who they are dealing with, sitting with, working for. The Otero Sheriffs is in charge of overseeing a huge part of our land. We are in their county. It is very important that people understand who David Black is, who Raul Robles is, and of course, everybody needs to know who Jacob Diaz is. Hopefully soon he'll be in the papers, and you can all read his sentencing in the papers, I hope. I tell you to go tell your counsel to be there, but I feel like that's just an endless request. They do not care. Right now, they are sitting there trying to go through everything to get rid of Thora. And if Thora were smart, she'd look at our Constitution and she would lawyer up and she would fight this, because there was no due process. There was no charges. There was no legality to what Nelva and Doralyn do for Gabe, for themselves, for their bank accounts. That is a fact. The fact that Doralyn has never been removed, has never been investigated, is mind-boggling. We have no health care, no IHS, because of this nasty old adulterating woman. And that is a fact as well. if you're not nasty or an adulterer, please prove me wrong, Doralyn, because you can't even tell your daughter where she comes from. But you're so high and mighty, looking down on your people and doing the most biggest violations to them. You removed Eddie Martinez because he couldn't shut me up. And I know that because, well, Dorlin, every time you all had meetings, I usually got videos of how you scream. Sometimes I was even on the phone as you were in there yelling at my bio, telling him to shut me up and control me. I don't understand how you didn't know that. I have nothing to do with him, even at that time. Throughout my life, I don't think there was a time he could tell me that. But Thora, I hope that you are smarter. I hope you understand that there are laws that you should have even followed. And if you did, you wouldn't be dealing with these corrupt people. You would have corrected the wrong, and things would be going better for our people. But none of you want to stand up for the wrong. You won't even stand up for our murdered children at all. You don't protect any of our children, our elders, our people at all. And if any of you that feel they do so much for us, feel free to explain what they do for you. I'm sure there's many others that will differ. If you all could tag your council member, family, friends, tag Melissa Chavez, the pedophile, the rapist, and her husband, the main pedophile and rapist, Ted Chavez, Theodore Chavez. I don't know what you go by, you fake demon Christians. That's what you are. But tag them. My shows will always start with Elijah until we have justice. And because of everything that has come to light, my shows will end with Melissa and Ted Chavez. So let's get started. Oh, let me see. We have a lot to talk about. I don't even know where to start. You know, Dorlin, we sat with some elders the other day, and they all asked how you're doing this when your niece stole so much from the language program that 12 teachers lost their job. They lost their funding and had to just stop with something that we are fighting so hard to hold on to instill, to teach, to everything. We allowed your niece to steal thousands and go gamble with her mother at the casino. And then we continued to move Jessica Rodriguez from department to department until we put her back under Dorlin at IHS. And then IHS failed as well. Lost all its money. No doctors, nothing. Just a murdering Vonda in the pharmacy there. Excuse me, y'all. I am sick. I do have a cold. I have a few things to update as well. I have been saying, you all won't go to Elijah's hearing. You won't go anywhere without your appearance fee. And that is true. You won't. You don't do anything for your people, including you new council. Canis, Third. I haven't seen any of you get involved with any of these hearings, with anything, to show any type of support. And there have been hearings. There's hearings for their, what do you call it? Evidence. I still, that still bothers me, because what evidence? I just don't get that. But it is what it is. Let's see. Man, there's some of you that are repeats. So you all have like Big money. Your pay went up and you still won't show up for your people, not at any event. Clyde, man, maybe if we serve alcohol, we promise a party after. Something's got to get you all into that courtroom, because we're not just paying you $350. We're paying you all $400. Somebody said you need to stop saying you pay them $350. We don't pay them $350. We pay them $400. I stand corrected. Um, our school. I have had a lot of questions regarding our school. And so sorry. Regarding the staff at our school, regarding resignations, do we have resignations that have taken place? How many teachers left, if so? And what are we doing to replace them? How many of you are coaches for our children? How many of you tribal members have been coaches, are coaches? What is the process for you to become a coach? What do you have to do? What are your conditions, your qualifications? And when you become a coach, how long is your term? Do you reapply? Do you just keep that position? Do they vote you in? How does that work? Because I'm always seeing our tribal members posting, oh man, I didn't get it, so and so, I didn't, I have to reapply, and someone else was chosen. Now, I want to know who Jordan Estrada is, and I want to know why she is so special. Who are her favorites that you all are keeping her on without any hassle to her? But our tribal members, man, we have to go through hoops to get a job. Whose child is she playing? And to my understanding, Jordan has a little brother that attends our schools. Jordan's little brother was dating Rodney Pena's daughter, I believe, last year. I don't know. I could be thinking of the wrong child. I'm pretty sure he's the one that was getting on the bus and going on trips with them, sitting in the seats. Our students sitting there, we're making sure we accommodate these young couples. I would like to know why. Why we have made so many accommodations for this non-tribal lady. Who are you, ma'am, that you get all of these treatments when my people can't even? We have to fight for jobs. And this isn't the only place, we're talking about nepotism with Dora here. We have this everywhere. Miss Estrada is getting everything she wants. So whose child plays? School board, do any of your children play under her? Because I'm told school board is really lacking. That you're not hearing your people, that you're hearing all of these non-tribals first. You're putting them first. You're not putting your children's needs first. You're putting your own. You're worrying about other people's opinions, their thoughts. Those people don't mean nothing. They're not going to be there for those kids. It's what these kids need right now. It doesn't matter what the others think. We elected you so that you could make the best choices for them, and you're over here playing favoritism, nepotism. Be careful. Look at where Thora's sitting. Sixth grade will possibly be moving to elementary. Normally I I guess it's okay. I don't know. But the reason for the move is because of too much cannabis use among the sixth graders. Somebody needs to go into the school and really needs to look into that. If this is all going on, you're losing staff left and right, and most of their complaints is that they have no help from the school board, the superintendent, whoever is BS full of it. And I have to say they're probably right, because look at what's going on. I don't know. I don't know who's in these schools making these decisions. But school board, you have a job. You're supposed to be there for your students. You're supposed to be there for your staff. If staff is harmful to the students, I could see not supporting them, maybe letting them go. But you have staff that are resigning because you're not listening to them. You're picking council's favorites, your favorites, basketball players' favorites. And we've been seeing this since Gabe and Robin. That's a fact. Y'all know it. I have all the notes for it. Let's see. So sorry. I have there's a lot of things that I'm not sure I will touch on tonight. I think I'll stay away from that section tonight just because of all of the passings that our tribe is dealing with. And that's another thing that you all need to look at. You all need to look at what is the cause of all of these deaths, what has taken all of these people from us. Because we have alcohol everywhere and we don't have any help for them. Robert Rice. Is that your name, Bish? Because you really campaigned on that. You used that. You went hard on that. And we still have people that have no help for their depression, for their anger, for any of it. No wraparound. Y'all did a big photo shoot talking about it. But how many more people do we have to lose to actually get help? Because you're feeding the problem, but you're not helping it. You have alcohol at our tribal store. You have slot machines. And if you look at the machines, who's putting in, it's mostly our people. Nepotism. Somebody said you forgot to mention Amber Luna, Alan Kurgan's main side piece. When he can't get it from one of the cocktails, he'll just go to Amber. And Amber, if that's not true, you really should probably say something, because why would you want that reputation? You know, my cousin Cindy she is beautiful. And she left her husband everything years ago for Alan. And even then, he was ugly. I don't know. But we pay for Alan's nepotism, alcoholism, whatever. Alan right now has his family working under him. Where's his suspension? Amber Luna's children are also working under her. Where is her suspension? You can go on and on. It is everywhere you look. Council, Mescalero people, y'all need to stand up. Y'all finally had a general meeting and no, y'all didn't even fight. June Shaw stood up and fought. That's why we have this illegal removal of Thora. I'm told June stood up and she raised Cain regarding this Annabelle. Where is your name? Annabelle, whatever. Where is your fight for everything else, June? All of you. All of you. Where was your fight? Because my phone is full of your fight, your complaints, your heartaches. And man, none of you could stand up and say anything with your chest. It was the time to do it when everybody was there. You had all of that protection and all of that power to use your voice against the people that are your employees. Your employees. Now, Thora said she's releasing this big statement. After 3 years, she wants to be transparent. And I want to thank you, Mr. Hauser, for reminding me that. But after 3 years, you want to be transparent, Thora. You want to discuss your removal, your suspension. As you should, you need to go public. You need to make this as publicly known as possible. Because Nelva and Dorlin are going to do this every single time they don't like somebody who's in there. When they can't continue what they're doing to our people, to our funds, to our land. Annabelle, were you married when you came and started working for the tribe? Because when you signed that agreement to work for us, you're agreeing to our laws. Did you commit adultery on our land with Thora's son? And what do your degrees go towards? Because I'm told that Thora stood up and really went on about your degrees and that they didn't really pertain to our cattle industry. So that would be good to know. And I was also told that only one tribal member applied and he did not want to do the paperwork side of the job separated. That way you have people who really know what they're doing in areas that they really know what they're doing in. You're not just putting someone in there saying they know what they're doing because they see big bucks. They see Mescalero's money and they want to take it. Are you going to bed? I love you, sweet. These are just all little things that I have been reading through all of these notes. I did get a message the other day, and I thought it was interesting. It was regarding the feast list, and there are little asterisks by people that are tribal and not tribal. And I thought, oh, how interesting. And I'm sorry, but I had to laugh. Ardina and Dave Orozco. I just thought this was funny. Okay, let me see here. And you put the little asterisks by people that are not tribal members, are not enrolled. And I thought that was pretty funny because Ardina and Dave, you sold out. Your entire reputation, your entire family, like you gave your whole reputation as a medicine woman, as everything as a woman, Ardina, for the Blazers. I think this is so funny that you did all of that illegal thing. Everything you did was illegal for them. Everything. And your granddaughter is not enrolled. but Blazer's granddaughter is. You gave your father one of the whitest funerals I've ever seen. And that's not what he talked about. He talked about his late brother's funeral. He talked about his teepee. He talked about the whole thing. And you didn't do any of it because you wanted the Blazers to be lifted up. You even had Butch Blazer go and try to give a speech. And all he had was he played ball with him. And now their kids are together. I thought that was so funny. But now you're sitting there and your daughter's daughter is not enrolled. And somehow Nelva's daughter is enrolled. Now, Nelva, this one is an interesting one because you will disenroll left and right women you don't like, women that put fear in your bones, women that have more blood than you. But somehow your daughter is now enrolled. Okay, now this was interesting to me, you all, because Nelva is Cervantes. Andrew Lancaster, the father of this little girl, is Lancaster. She is a Lancaster. But for enrollment purposes, she is a Cervantes. You all need to ask how all of their children are being enrolled while you all are being denied. You need to ask for proof of their blood. Because all of this Lewis Chino Vouch bloodline, all of their kids are enrolled. The Duggett bloodline, enrolled. While they're denying you all enrollment. While they're telling us they don't have enough to take care of us, but they're enrolling people that are not enough to be us, while telling us we're not either. How does that make sense? And you all just sat there. Was Nelva present in the general meeting? Can anybody let me know if Nelva was present in that general meeting? Because you all need to ask how she's still employed, how she continues to enroll Elena's daughters, Elena's children, all of them. Gabe Aguilar's son, he's not enough at all. There's no 1 point bump up, nothing, and that ended. That no longer applies to us. That stopped. When Butch came out and started handing out letters telling people they're not enough. But he was. How funny. But so back to this, Ardina. You know, I think it's funny because I can sit here and tell you all who Ardina's family is. I can tell you who Dave's family is. Nelva, who is your mother's family? Because we know where you get your dad's blood. It's Virginia Evans Cervantes, and that's it. That's it. Because your dad's or your grandfather is a murderer. So where are you getting your blood to enroll your children? And Mr. Andrew Lancaster, how are you just going along with taking your name off for corrupt benefit? How do you do that? Are you another colonizer? You're willing to just stand there and, okay, what do I get? That is Nelva's greed. She probably took all she could to help pay for this feast from the tribe while denying so many. I was told that if you want to see Thora or any of the council, you have to write a letter and get approval from Nelva. You guys are really afraid of Nelva, I guess. It's okay. I'm working on that. It's all right. We don't have to deal with her much longer. Now, let's see. I was going through my phone the other day because it's trying to die on me. It's it is really trying to just conk out on me. But I was listening to a video, and I'll probably post it after this. It's a long video, but I thought, man, where is this? What is this video? It's just dark. But when you play it, you can hear mumbling, talking in the background, I guess, and you can hear my heartbeat. So I'm supposing I probably put my phone in my shirt or whatever, because I can hear my heartbeat really well. But if you go to like maybe 6 minutes, 6.5, I don't know, you can start to hear the conversation more. And it was my court hearing, my disbarment. Judge Littlewin was the judge. Who else was in there? Judge Moreno was in there. And I believe it was Byers, maybe. But listening to that video, and thinking about everything that I am going to be reading, that I did read, thinking about the victims of our tribe, Lauren Galarito's victim, Devern Torres's victim. We literally sent her away, you guys. I'm not kidding in any way, shape, or form. When Devern Torres's victim told them what he did, told Robin Simmons, the victim's advocate, what was done to her, they blamed her that she wasn't cooperating. She didn't want to talk no more. She's crazy. They sent her away. Does that sound familiar? They sure like to try to make you sound crazy, huh? When you're talking about all of the disgusting things that they're doing. But they sent this baby away. Nobody knew where she was. And her mama called crying, I can't find my baby. So we started moving. And I told you, it was Alex that found her. All the way in Texas. After she was raped by Gabe Aguilar's cousin, they sent her away. He got 11 years, I'm pretty sure. That's what I read. He got 11 years for what he did to her. So F you, Robin and Gabe. She still got justice. Even though you tried to protect him, she still got justice. All of these, it really I just sat here and thought about all the people that I used to stand beside, sit beside in church, raise my hands and put hands on and pray for these people, these demons, these sick, pedophile demons. It really changed my view of that church, my entire view. You all are some sick people. And I don't mean every one of you, but I will personally name you all tonight. You all are sick. But I sat here and I thought, man, listening to Littlewin disbar me and the stupidity that he spoke of. Pam Morgan was the one who put in a motion to have me drug tested before allowing me to represent any more of my people in court. Now, let me explain to you, when I represent our people, or when I used to, if they couldn't pay, we worked a payment out. My fees were very low compared to every other lay advocate. And I'm not saying that's bad. I just understand it's hard to pay. It is a lot of work to do that type of work. But I also understand that not all of us can pay. So I have helped our people a lot. And I'm not helping people that are just doing the craziest. I'm helping people that are literally just trying to freaking survive. People that are trying to be a parent and the court is saying no. And now I'm starting to understand why. But Pam Morgan was the one who put in to have me removed as a lay advocate, to have me drug tested. They were all very aware of my drug use, and I explained it in the court hearing. Um, but you all are protecting criminals. You all do not want our people to have any help. Everything that you're doing, to me personally, you did not want me to help our people. You want our people to just stay quiet, obedient, complicit. Um, I don't know, just ignoring everything that you all are doing, ignoring how full your money is, your pockets. You took away your people's voice, their rights, any means of understanding them. You all know that. You sit in that court and they just start reading gibberish to you. And half of the time they don't make sense, but they're ruling that, and you know it's not right. And that's what my job was, to tell them, no, that's not the law. Janice Moreno was one of them that hated it. Oh my gosh. Educated and all, that demon does not like to be told our laws. She can have a case in front of her and you can cite every violation to our law, and she's going to ignore it, and she's going to rule in favor of the person doing the harm. Our babies are going to be tortured. She don't give a crap. Janice Moreno don't give a crap. That is a walking demon. Her and Melissa Chavez, man, you two are some demons in disguise. The things you do to our children illegally. And if I'm not talking correctly, if you're not a demon, explain legally how you rule to remove these children without any proof, just because somebody told you something. Um, yeah. But along with that, taking away your rights, you have Melissa Chavez in there. Man, Melissa works hard to make sure that you are screwed in every way. They have pre-trial conditions. Those aren't even in our laws, but she liked it. She learns new things and she sticks with it. Her words, her adjudication. Y'all have a demon sitting in that courtroom fighting against our people. The tribal prosecutor should be working to help us, and she's working against us in every single way, hurting our children. Um, I just got a message that I can mute when I need to cough. I thought that was funny, but thank you. I do want to address I think she went back in there. Address these pedophiles. it is very hard to do this portion. I know so many of our youth. I know so many of the things that are going on. This case in particular, I've known for a while, and it wasn't my right, to speak about until she was ready. And um, so let's see. We do have some comments. Um, Until those demons started preying over our people, my mom's manipulation is top tier. The Morenos and Melissa have been a solid church trio since back in the day, and I'm very aware of that. They are very deceiving. I'm not kidding. I used to have a very high regard for these people. Melissa, not so much. She was okay. I talked to her and I thought, well, she's trying to change, but I've seen Melissa in her whore days, and I've seen too much. And it's in that church. Even I sat there and thought, okay, it's don't sit there and place judgment. You got Melissa, Rodney, and Robin. Rodney's been with both of them repeatedly. I mean, so in church, it was always really hard to look past that. But thinking about all of this, man, I'm sorry, but those of you that go to that church that are not like that, you all got to be careful and know who you sit with. Your Bible speaks about it. Your Bible talks so much about sitting with these people. But keep that in mind. These people who are banishing and disenrolling women, these banishments and disenrollments are being led by some of the nastiest women who act so high and mighty. Don't ever let Melissa Chavez look down on you, Theodore Ted Chavez. None of them should ever be able to look down on you and make you feel guilty in any way. They're pedophiles. Melissa Chavez, you are a pedophile just like your husband that you protected. Melissa was destined to attack all the churches. Let's see. I will start. I know that I had started reading messages from back in 2022, I believe I ended. But I did get messages from Ted and Melissa's victim. So I do want to go ahead and read those because it's her story. It's for her. So if you see Melissa, you're sitting there with her, make her some popcorn. Tell her to get comfy. I'll just start with your first message. So I do have a biological father. He's half Laguna Pueblo and half Navajo from Chinle. I am his firstborn. He has 3 more girls who I am close to. 2 come from his second wife after my mom, and a 4th daughter from his 3rd wife. He is married to his 4th wife, go figure. A few years back, I was untangling everything, every threaded knot of my life, my roots, my timeline, everything. Upon many findings, it was right in front of me. That history repeats itself. What's been done to me, my mom, also did to my dad. I used to think the world of my dad, and that's where I wanted to be. I never wanted to be with my mom. I've come to understand the love I thought I had for her wasn't real. I loved the idea of the mother I had every now and then until it was nothing but hate and hurt. I didn't ask for any of this. Who would? Like, yeah, me. I order the biggest bowl of a shitty life and extra spice, please. So back to it. My dad, the last time I knew or heard or seen him, which was frequent in my life, in my years, to hardly, barely, then no more. My mom was good at placing my mental health on a loop, which is not what I want my children to go through. She had me believe he never calls or asks for you, doesn't care about your birthdays, when's the last time you heard from him, type of stuff. Nothing ever added up until her setting started to take over. I'm absolutely nothing to my mom, and my dad don't want me, and I'm too much for anyone type of mindset. Last I knew, he was a sergeant for the Santa Ana Police Department. My dad has been a police officer for 36 years now. All my life till this day, he won't talk to me. He won't open his door to me. It was never like that. My dad was my daddy, my world. Then it faded, and I've been going through the worst. I'm going to send you some screenshots and messages to my dad, whose name is Eugene Martinez, by the way, Gino or Gene. Disregard my lingo toward, but it's gotten that far in our separation. Um, did you want me to read all of your messages to your father? I know you see me sending you requests. Mr. Officer Datzer, I know you have been getting my verbal messages. She has many messages to him. Um, there's a lot of messages to him. I don't know if you want me to read all those, but there are a lot. I did want to point out that she speaks about how Melissa held her mental illnesses over her head, and that was something that I know I got really upset the other night. I really let my emotions take over, but that was something that I think is important for you to understand, that the victims, the person that is hurting them is always going to paint them as the bad guy, is always going to make them crazy, make them seem like what they are doing is normal and their rebellion against it is uncalled for and is not needed, and it shouldn't be that way. Melissa used and helped all of that. She created those. It reminded me of Judge Doll. When Judge Doll did not like what I had to say about her lover, her friend. I don't know what Nelva and her are. I don't, but Judge Doll had a lot to say about me, trying to make me seem crazy, putting me in a hospital, even calling the hospital. I was actually going through records today looking at all of the things that the hospital had written, all of the calls from Judge Dahl during my time there. And that is their goal. That is their goal, to make you seem crazy, to discredit your words. The things you are saying can tear down their whole life. So they have to attack you in every way possible. And that's exactly what happened. Everything that was done to Mariah, everything she spoke about, everything she talked to her mother about. It didn't do her any good. They hurt her more. Melissa used that, and oh, she's crazy. And I truly believe that that is what they all do. Thora, I think it would be really good for you to talk about the things that you've seen when you went to the court. June Shaw, you were yelling at them about this Annabelle lady. You should have yelled about the court because they sent you away too. Why didn't you get loud for that? I'm trying to find the last place I stopped on your notes. I know I read about, I don't remember what day we even stopped on. April 20th, 2023. And I shared my concerns with my mom and Shell about the home repair being done per house and 20,000. Ray is their contract boss. I'm assuming, I believe he's cheating everyone's homes. We had a surprise visit from Paul Bruce Willis last week sometime. He spoke with my family member, checking on everything, asking where Ray was and why he isn't here or why they weren't done yet. Well, that's housing stuff. She tried really hard to get a house for a long time. She tried to show stability to her mother, to take her children back. I talked about Elizabeth and Joseph and their situation, and that was my point, that all of these parents, all of these people, it doesn't even matter if the issue is with your children. We have people that are in so much need for help, whether it is with your own justice, whether it is with an addiction, housing, a job. We don't have it. In every way, our tribe, our leadership, I feel like they're trying to weaken us to a point that it's just where y'all are now, I guess. Just take it. You have no voice. You have no advocates. You have no fight. Melissa Chavez and Ted Chavez should be on charge, on suspension, on charges, investigation, and they're still there. Oh, okay. I will go back. I'm sorry. But that is something that you all need to look at. It's not hard. Look, you can go to the court. You can go to the court at any time during the week and ask for a list of lay advocates. Who's going to help you? When I was young, I was always at the court because my parents were always, in something. Back then, they were real crazy. But there were alternate judges. If you put in that you did not want that judge, you have that right. You have that right to disqualify a judge. The tribal court is supposed to provide you another judge. We don't even have that. We don't have that option. You're stuck with these people that are so far up Nelva's butt. You're never. It doesn't matter what laws you place in front of them. From Janice to Maestas, they're going to rule in Nelva's favor, in Dorland's favor, in Garrely's favor. That's why I got disbarred, because I did a show And I mentioned that Garalee had taken her family member, Ryleen's daughter, off of the warrant list um, during the 4th of July. I mean, man, they were finally in town. Where do they live? Texas or somewhere? They could have just went and handled it, but Garalee removed her. And because I mentioned that, um, she called Pam and said to do something about it. So they disbarred me. And that took away another advocate for you all. I don't think there was, maybe 2 more. I'm not even sure of that. So you have no advocates to help you in the courts, to help you explain your rights, fight for your rights. You don't have a choice. You're stuck with the judge that they give you. You're really shit out of luck with them. They all kept me out of any and all homes. I had, let me just go to I don't know if y'all can hear my cat snoring. I think it's very odd. She snores so loud. They kept me out of any and all homes I had to take care of. Oh, let me see. Oh, shoot. Michelle and Melissa were always quick to, let's just call the cops. Their mom, my grandma Ada, that I took care of, is their ringleader of this generational curse. The difference between them and I is I'm breaking it for my children and our future. I know them and all behind closed doors, and now so does my husband. Is Matt crazy too? LOL, I dare. But I do ask you all to listen to the victims. I ask that you stop pushing your family away that is screaming for help. Start fighting for what is right. Fight for what is right. I've lost a lot of family, friends, because I will speak on it. I cannot hold back. If what is brought to my attention has valid proof, I have to ask. I have to bring it up, and people don't like that, but it has to be asked. Nobody else is going to ask, and our council isn't trying to be transparent ever. And no, you're not transparent, Thora. You are not. You do a one-sided show. You don't take questions. You don't open your floor to anybody. You just feed us lies. And your staff is also tired of your cussing at them in your meetings. Honestly, I'm going to continue reading the messages. I'm supposed to read the messages in concerns with the conversations that she had with her father regarding what Melissa and Ted had done. Honestly, like you tell me all the time, I don't read minds. So if you have something to say or some type of big dog shit to get off your chest to me, understand I'm just like you, and I can definitely clear the air on my own 2 feet alone like I've been doing. If anyone should be bucking any type of way, it should be me, which says a lot about my big girl panties versus yours. Sorry. I lost that, but I love you and would like to meet you, your granddaughter, and my husband. I guess playing your part is a little bitch mode, and she's upset. Here's another thing you should know: if you were Any type of father, pay attention. You should know that. When my mom came back also from the dead one year when I was 8 and lying with my Grandma Ada and Grandpa Carlton, I was in 3rd grade. Come to find out what I wish I knew then of what I know now, that because of whatever shit had between you and my mom, she's also just as bitter as you, except evil. The worst type of narcissistic person to ever become victim to, especially her firstborn that came from open legs after midnight, me. While my best guess is because she wanted nothing more than to hurt you any type of way and was reminded of you every time she seen me. She first hand served me up on a dish unknowingly to me, to the full molestation of her amazing husband for a full 8 years, mind you. Now that I got a full grip and conquering spirit that I sufferingly had to find literally on my own, you ever wonder the real reason why she has my babies? Let me tell you. Back in 2018, when I finally got the courage to drop a effing tree on her and Ted's bullshit and pull their bluffing cards that year after I was at the devil's mercy to fight fire with fire, I just buried Angel Love. I told my mom, who's oddly has been a prosecutor and a minister all of a sudden for some years, to paint a picture of fantasy and protection at all costs. A Christian narcissist, like, look it up. Anyway, I was overly sick and tired of her control, gaslighting me, bullying me, and biggest secret when she admitted she knew what Ted did to me all those years. After she finally let me tell her in detail what happened, not because she cared, but because she wanted to test my memory, when I threatened her and Ted with legal action, she literally had a bullet for my head until chased off the res with no return or concern or missing person to follow. Ever had multiple M14s in your face? Her whole motive was to carry on her truth of my daughter's crazy and just lost it all of a sudden and just a party animal, a boy crazy and drugs, LOL, whatever the F she said, and had a warrant out for my arrest and armed and dangerous threat to society, kidnapping my own kids, which in her eyes were gold on tax cut. Child endangerment and neglect. What else? Approach with caution. Shoot on sight. Come to find 2021, when I came back, a fucking beast with a new lethal heart, mind, and soul, and blood of fire. Best believe my comeback was ground shaking when I got to check my background records. There was nothing on there at all. She tore my world apart like a fucking piranha. She tore my 3 little worlds apart. Her daughter was 8, her son was 6, and her other daughter was 4. I remember like yesterday, the last time I seen them when I took them to school, where they should have been secured and safe. I went to all their teachers, told them everything, especially the 2 face paid off principal, whom I gave instructions strictly to not trust my mom or any paperwork she may pull. She's dangerous. I waited at the bus stop from a different assigned bus en route for my babies to get off. They didn't. The principal gave my manipulative, twisted, control freak mother my babies, who 8 years later, her and Ted are completely flourishing and thriving off of luxury the luxury of having my kids tax cuts and dividends and pull off child support from me based on, go figure, Ted's sister being the head honcho of the Child Support Enforcement Office. And it would not surprise me if you all wanted to verify. I'm pretty sure that Melissa doesn't skip a beat either. There are so many of you that do not get any help from child support, and you will not as long as you have the same people sitting in there doing nothing. They do not care about any of you. They have what they need. Why worry about you? So, anyways, there it is. I wouldn't be surprised to see you looking down your nose sitting at my mom's table, even still. One thing I know, I built myself after fucking up over and over because of me and who I am. All my children know what unconditional love and prayer of wanting them in this world, meaning I planned them all. I know how to be a mother based off what I didn't have. At the end of the day, when I look at my children, what great things I went for them and how wonderful they are proves that I was never the problem. So I'm having no choice. My mom got what she wanted. My parental rights are gone. My kids are no more. And having no choice. Therefore, serving her a truth, a beautiful picture. Y'all have to think if these were your kids, would you fight like this? Would you fight for them? Would you fight for yourself? And we still haven't had court. Oh my God. I don't know. Um, Looking back at all the cases I have all of my paperwork. I have the people that I represented. I have their full packets, and I look at everything that our courts ignored. Um, and I'm working, guys. I'm going to call. I'm going to get this done. We're going to get our courts investigated. When Gabe was president, the courts were investigated and shut down. And we will do that again because these are federal fundings that we receive. And our rights are being violated while using these fundings to pay them to violate us. Melissa Chavez, as the prosecutor, I'm also working on her funding and reporting her because she's also federally funded. Um, there is hope. There, this is why, y'all. Why do you talk about the same people? Why do you attack the same people? The same people keep coming up. The same people have never left the story. They are the story. Um, what was done to me, it took a lot for me to get here. It took a lot from my family, my husband, my children, my parents, all of us. It took a lot, but it everything that happens for a reason. I can't sit here and be mad and cry or be upset because everything happens for a reason. This is teaching me, man, the things I have learned, help remind me that I've sat in that teepee when they were actually praying. I I am Sani Clash, when they sat there and prayed, not just chanted. In our teepees now, you men that are singing, what are you singing? Or are you just chanting? Do you know what you're saying? Are you praying? Joey, Uncle Joey, are you teaching them that? Are you able to teach them that? The people that I was raised with, and I have to thank my mother for this, and possibly Eddie, I guess, for not wanting anything to do with me ever, you know. My mother had a lot of help from some of the strongest women I've ever known. My grandmother Bessie, my Aunt Fleta, my grandma Ruth. You know, I've been around our old ways when people understood our medicine and the power of our medicine. And right now I sit here and I see the power of our medicine, whether it's good or bad, and I can't control that. You control what happened. You know, you make your own choices. But I thought about that, like, man, David Littlewin sat there as a, how are you enrolled, Littlewin? Because you don't have blood in you just by residency. And man, you took away so many people's rights. And I remember calling you out, telling you you were a liar. Because I sat in your chambers before and listened to all of your BS, your ass kissing, I guess. Because it was all a lie. You sat there in that courtroom and lied for money. I have to look at your message on my phone because to blow it up here, it don't work well. But, you know, I really think that you all deserve another general meeting, because the general meeting you all had was taken by so much. So much of your time to speak was taken by Dwayne, for one. Nothing to say. He should have explained all the money he uses to travel around, to move lovers here and there. But you all need to ask these questions. And you probably won't get another general meeting. And if you do, who's going to be suspended from that? So when you see the council, ask them. If there's more than one together, for sure ask them. But let me see. I made a paper trail immediately when I got back. What the child support had was from my youngest daughter's dad and my oldest two's dad and their child support. That was it. I went back to see what else they may have and had these sudden packets that didn't make sense, of course. I had got a chance to take my son to LCMC for a concussion he had gotten from taking him to work out at Cow Camp, which they also hid. I also saw my chance to check his Medicaid card that I put him on, and the lady what does the guardianship say, and she said it was me. It was 2023, I believe. My youngest daughter was crying for me late at night. She just took a shower. It was cold. My mom tossed her hair out the back door in her towel and turned the lights off. My baby is afraid of the dark. She said she screamed and banged on the door and they wouldn't let her in. It isn't hard, you all, to verify this. And there is people to report your mother to. Um, I'm hoping that by the end of the week I can give you all of that and we can do a report and get her turned in, her and Ted, because Ted is paid with tribal funds as well, and most of our funding comes from the feds, even the 638s. Sherry Kaiji Garcia, at any time, you could step in and start looking into these things. I don't know what your role is, but man, you're absent. And if your health is keeping you from doing your job, then give it to somebody who will help your people. I love you and all, but man, our people are suffering, and you know exactly how. You've seen it with your own eyes. We have sat and discussed some of these children. I'm pretty sure that's all that I have to speak about tonight. I am working on getting some help to our people in that court. We don't have any fight. And they want you all this way. They want you all to just keep taking what they're doing. They don't want you to learn our laws. They don't want you to understand your rights. That is a fact. I do understand them. I am their biggest fear. And they know that. And right now, I'm literally breathing down them. Their time is coming very soon. That is relieving to know, to finally know that you're going to get help for your people. I feel that my banishment and my disenrollment wasn't just to hurt me, but it was to hurt you all. I truly feel that. I truly feel that all the things that are being done are so that these fake Christians can keep doing all of their illegal things. And that's what they are. I don't care what anybody says. I can tell you. You're a mandated reporter. Your job is literally to defend us, Melissa, and you're defending your pedophile husband. I truly hope that you end up in prison. I'm trying to read the messages and see what they're. I had just missed the incident with my oldest when I drove like a bat out of hell to catch my mom in her crap. My baby girl was standing there out of breath crying. My mom had yanked her eyelashes off. Part of humiliation, Melissa hurt her because she has been smoking weed pens. So now she is my backstory repeat. Melissa and Ted didn't ever want to account that. They are the problem. Those cameras are not for security. They have them up for control. I know my kids are not safe, especially now from both of them. Ted and Melissa can eat the same plate of shit. I have no choice. of. Um, yeah. If I left anything out, please feel free to message me. I'll do another show. One quick thing. Earlier today, Elijah Hadley's sister had mentioned that Elijah's cross is deteriorating. The wood is wearing. There was no weatherproofing for the cross. It would be really good if you could get a metal cross. So if there's anybody, and they had a lot of comments on there. I don't know if they found somebody, but if they did, that's great. But I think if even all of us could come together and get some concrete, we could go dig a hole and do a concrete base and put a cross up in there. If it's metal or steel, it'll last longer. And even if it's a wood cross, where you can weatherproof it. But I think that would be really good. I seen some of the comments talking about the school, getting the school to do it. Somebody tagged Ivan Nasitama. That's the only one I really, I guess, would talk to if I had to. Sorry, I don't mean to be mean or nothing, but I know how most people are with me. I don't even know who talks to me and who don't. But um, he's the only one I feel that ever really is transparent. But that would be really good to do for him. We don't get no other help from our leadership, but if we could all step up, and another thing, if we could even do that, if we can't have our leaders at the court hearing, then why can't the rest of us be there? We can be loud. If we all show up, imagine that. Imagine if we're at the court and they're getting ready to start court, and that whole street is filled with Mescalero Apaches. Do you know the power that that gives? Do you know what that does for Elijah? If that street were filled with us Apaches, imagine. Because these delays are happening because his voice isn't loud enough. Us few that are there continuously, we're not loud enough. And I'm not saying that we are not loud. We need more. We need to be louder. If you guys could show up, that would be great. All of you that show up for the walks, man, that would be awesome. Any of you, any relation, any classmates, any of you, pack that street. Show Jacob that none of us are afraid of him and his aggressive ways, that none of us support him working there, that all of us want him to be behind bars in prison, where he belongs. I appreciate you too, and I hope you stay strong. Please let me know if anybody attacks you in any way. I mean, I know I'm banned, but I'll pull up real quick. I'll help you. I'll stand there and fight with you. I'll scream our laws to the top of my lungs. They cannot keep ignoring them. We have children that are hurt and still no justice. Lauren Galarito's victim is still sitting there with absolutely no justice at all. You have Mariah's children that are sitting with monsters. Man, they're sitting with Epstein and Ghislaine. That's who you're sitting with. It's who you got these kids with. And Janice Moreno, you're just as bad. Rodney Pena, Gabe, Robin, all of you that sit in that church together, Dorlin, you're just as bad. Share my content. Be loud. Be loud for Elijah. Be loud for our children that need our voices. What are you waiting for? I know what I'm forgetting. Clay Geronimo. There is a post that is being shared for Clay Geronimo. To this day, I don't understand how he was not reported missing for 9 years. It really makes me feel sick when I look at his mother, and I see her almost every morning. And let me tell you, when I see you, lady, you make me sick. I don't understand how you can let your baby be gone and not say nothing. And from what I hear, it's because you as well are protecting your husband too. If any of you know anything, know the whereabouts for Clay Geronimo, his last known sighting was April 20th of 2018, I believe it says. If any of you have heard anything, report it to BIA. I don't even know if you should tell me. I'll tell it to the whole world so they can't deny it. Because we have BIA just looking the other way at all of our murders. You got Danica sitting there ignoring all of this. Twiddling. She's not going to look for her people. She didn't even care for her own child. She's not going to care for our people. We need people to actually care for us. Help us. I don't know. And also, one more thing. Please be careful with fires. You all know we have nothing. We have nothing for fires right now. Our roads and utilities department are both under Chris Little. We're screwed. Chris don't give a shit about us. Chris cares about our money. That's it. Look who he's got in charge. And I'm sorry, I don't mean anything against you, Ashley, but that's not a position you're made for. Hoyt, you as well. I don't get it. I just don't get it. But please be careful. Our winds, you can hear those winds. They're going crazy. We can't take any more fires. We cannot take any more fires. Man, I lost my home on the reservation illegally. And then I lost my home to Tyner's fires. And so many of my belongings from everything. So please, watch the fires. Don't be crazy. Don't even try it, because it'll go. And Tyner, all of you, take note. When you see Tyner places, take note. Because Tyner's just itching to start up on his season. And we all know Tyner is the arson. You don't believe me? Ask Brian Kleinko. Ask Valdez. Tyner's an arson and a murderer. We're ready and have the ones that have been ready for them for years. Thank you. And you'll message me. Y'all have a great night. Stay safe. Stay warm. listen to the victims. I understand it's a lot that they're saying, very damning information, but they need to be heard. They need to be taken serious.